Welcome everyone. My name is Gail and I'll be providing you some highlights or snippets of information, if you will, on this subject, who must file, as well as various others. So hang in there with me. This topic and the others are designed to be used as reinforcement or resource tools to a couple of different audiences. The targeted audience are the folks who, number one, have already attended face-to-face classroom training and are unclear on the topic. Maybe something here will help clear up the fuzziness. This group would be our first-time VITA volunteers. Group number two, returning volunteers who simply need some refresher. Returning volunteers are those people who have volunteered in the VITA program for 2 or more years. And then our final group, the people who prefer to complete the IRS Lincoln Learn e-learning online version entirely, may also come here to possibly pick up any additional skills or knowledge. No matter which group or audience you're in, just know that the online exams and the test requirements remain the same for each of us. This topic and the ones to follow are not full-blown, in-depth lessons. For that, you will need to attend classroom training or complete the Lincoln Learn e-learning online. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and get with it. Using Publication 4012, go to tab A, Who Must File. The first page behind tab A is page A-1 is the chart A for most people who must file. Notice the first statement under the banner. If you can be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return, whether or not that actually happens, you will not use this chart. You will need to use chart B. Let's walk through the chart briefly. If your filing status is single, and at the end of 2017, you were under age 65, then file a tax return if your gross income was at least $10,400. If you're single, and at the end of 2017, you were 65 or older, then file a tax return if your gross income was at least $11,950. Let's go down to head of household. At the end of 2017, you were under age 65, then you need to file a return if your gross income was $13,400 or more. So I think you get the gist of it. But notice the third column. It mentions gross income. Well, the definition of gross income is located on the same page just below this chart. Tab A, page 1. I won't go there with you. I'll let you read that for yourself. Let's move on to chart B, page A-2. Chart B is used for children or other dependents. You recall the first statement under chart A's banner? If you can be claimed as a dependent by another taxpayer, the same statement continues to say, see chart B. Well, this is chart B. Chart B says, if your parent may claim you as a dependent, use this chart to see if you must file a return. In this chart, you have unearned income, earned income, as well as gross income. And then you have all of the definitions that are listed there. For our single dependents, either 65 or older or blind, you must file a return if any of the following apply. Your earned income was over $2,600. Your earned income was over $7,900. Or your gross income was more than the larger of $2,600, or your earned income of $6,000 plus another $1,900, which makes the $7,900. That is your gross income. The top area is for single dependents, both 65 or older or blind, and then under 65 and not blind. the bottom portion is used for our married dependents. Read those very carefully. Some of the money amounts changed this year from last year. To our returning volunteers, make certain that you're looking at the right Publication 4012 when you're attempting to make a determination. Always read through each requirement because the taxpayer may not be required to file. Now, let's move on to Chart C. Chart C deals with other situations when you must file. I have arrowed 5 of the most common ones for our taxpayer clientele. If you will check out 1B, it talks about an additional tax on a qualified plan. Some of our taxpayers may be involved with this, so you want to be certain we're picking that up. That's a taxpayer who should file. Then we have those taxpayers who are paying back the first-time homebuyer credit loan that they received back in, I believe, 2009. That's going to be arrowed item 1E. Then we have number 2. You need to file if you or your spouse received any kind of distribution from a savings plan or a health savings plan. Number 3, you must file a return or should file a return if your self-employment income was at least $400 or more. And then number 5, arrow, if you received any advance payments of the premiums tax credit from the healthcare marketplace, you should also file a return. Because in either of these situations, it could affect your tax liability or the amount of refund that you're due. Let's move on to our final chart, which is Chart D. Who should file chart? Once again, I have arrowed a few of the items that may affect our clientele. You should file if you had any federal income tax withheld from your pay, because you could be getting a refund. You should file if you had made estimated tax payments during the year, or you had an overpayment of estimated taxes from last year that were applied to this year's taxes. You might be due a refund. You need to file or should file if you qualify for the Earned Income Credit, or if you qualify for the additional child tax credit, or if you qualify for the refundable American Opportunity Credit, or if you qualify for the premium tax credit. All of these could affect your refund up or down. Most of the time it'll be up. Always, did I say always? Refer to your resource guide, Publication 4012, to assist our taxpayers in determining who must file for 2017. Review each of the charts for clarification. Well, that's all for me. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to our next session together.